let me tell you how that thing's going down there right now. If Kathy needs to be on it back there in payroll, she has to go up to revenue and say, can I get on the computer now? You know, that they're swapping it back and forth from department to department in order to get through. Been doing that for a few weeks now.
So if we can suspend rules and get this done, because the computer actually then has to be made, it'll take a couple of weeks. So we're still 2 weeks out from getting it done. But this is when I preach wants and needs this district. I think even Dr. Metson would say this is a need. This is 9,800 something.
Okay, the next item, item 9, are water issues at the Wetumpka Depot Players Building. A few months ago, we convened down there with 2 different problems on both ends of the building. We were able to correct, Pat, we were able to correct the water
and we thank you.
on one end because it was coming down the city street. We were able to correct that, but then there was another issue on the opposite end of the building between the Depot Players Building and Keith Howard's law office. And we looked at this. They have done some patching over the years. Councilman McConnell has gotten under there and done a little plumbing work and whatever. As you know, he couldn't.
Oh, yeah.
Chick couldn't fix anything. So anyhow, but they, Public Works has been down there and looked at it and trying to determine the situation. Is there an easement to get on the property now?
You have letters from Severs
Okay.
and
Okay.
Howard.
I understand that.
And estimate.
But
And I thought everybody might be wanting to look at it.
okay. Do you guys have the letter?
We have the one.
You have
We have the one from Keith Howard.
Okay.
Okay. Here's some other.
Okay. 2851 is the estimated cost of fixing this. The ones that were down there this morning, I don't even know who all was there. Larry, you were not in on that, were you?
No.
Okay. You want to bring us up to speed as to?
Well, I was just going over it with Larry, but I'll show you what I've got mount-wise. This is just a map portion that I pulled off of our GIS. Of course, the depot building in their parking lot, and this is Derek Landon and Severs. As the mayor said, we did come in earlier in the year and put a concrete sidewalk with an inlet right here. That's that inlet that's identified. It's this water. It also came through and cut a swell back here that takes all the balance of the water and carries it to this ditch right here. Everywhere you see a red mark is where there is a city inlet that takes water in, and the direction that that water goes is what the arrow specifies. What you see in the gold, those are contour lines, which of course shows the high mark of 252 and the low mark of 154, which definitely shows you the water comes this way. Take into account that this is Main Street, and it does have a crown in the middle of it, and then the water going, of course, that resides there goes this way and then this way. Since this photo was taken, and keep in mind this is in GIS, so it may be 3 or 4 years old, and Terry even alluded to when was the Dairy Queen paved?
Dairy Queen paved in 2002.
Okay, so what you're seeing there is the paving that they presently have. However, this parking lot right here has received some fairly new paving and is raised somewhat at this level off of Main Street, then it picks up and it gets to about right midway of the building and goes significantly down. What happens is if you get runoff off this building, that water has nowhere to go but back here. That's the direction that it takes. And there's some curbing that they put in right here to stop these cars when that was paved. And the water does tend to run down this way and then it flows back towards this corner. So there is significant water coming off, but without knowing the exact elevation of that parking lot around that building, which I can't tell you off of these maps, you really need a civil engineer to come in and do a topographic survey to give you exactly what those lines are, to tell you how much water and which way it's going.
Would it matter, Lynn, that someone has given an estimate?
Have you got a survey already?
No.
That's what
Okay.
needs to be done for us to know where exactly the water's coming from.
Okay. Okay. I know when we were back at that review, looking at this some months ago, it was that something right in the back of Seaver's lot back here was like kind of where that water was building up, and there was some discussion of what could be done here.
Chick hooked a pipe to it and it runs down to the city ditch.
Okay. Okay.
But it's a little thing.
Okay, the $2,851 is what someone has proposed that they
That's
can,
what Mark Shannon has proposed.
they can fix this situation.
On the whole,
Okay.
he describes there, the gravel, whatever type thing he's gonna use, with the piece of equipment that he was going to use, is to dig out to make sure the slope goes, put the pipe all the way down to the city ditch that is on the back corner of the depot building, and with the dirt that he digs out to fix that problem, to make the water flow properly, when he digs that dirt out, he's going to lift it back up on the top to where, if you remember when we were looking, basically this is the corner of the building and there was a burn there. Okay? And over the years, with all of this water and the growth, vegetation growth, that is down now or whatever, the burn's washed. I do realize even above the Dairy Queen, past from the hill coming across the street, I've gone out there and stood in the rain and seen how much it just gushes. So if there's any way the city could see fit to help us, you've already helped on the other side, but we just spent $8,000 showing up the back corner of the building because the building was cracking.
Okay, if there's no easement.
There is no easement.
What?
There is no easement.
Okay, then the city can't get on the property. And there's one thing I picked up in Keith's letter, that if I give you permission to come on the property, but don't damage the concrete.
Well, sure.
So, I mean, that's giving you fair warning right there that you have.
Well,
a liability.
and also, well, and Steve Seaver says the same thing. I mean, you might let somebody come down your driveway to fix somebody in the back if you don't want to tear up the driveway.
That's the solution to me.
But Lynn, we still need that survey you're talking about.
I don't think so. No, if you've got somebody that's already looked at it that says they can fix the problem, that's fine. I have to look at it from a city perspective and.
I understand and I appreciate it.
If you have the money, do what you want to do.
Well, we know what we do.
I mean, any appropriation has to be considered advertising.
Advertising's money well spent.
Would y'all want to send